Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Nguyen.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Everything Batman, guys. This is episode 3. I am your host, Everything Batman. As always, we have co-host Tom.
What's up, guys?
Today we got Grumps on the show.
Yo.
And our special guest, a lot of you may know him on Instagram as ReevzFX. Sean, welcome to the Everything Batman show.
What's up, guys?
How's this? On top of that, just to let everyone know, we are recording on Batman's birthday. Today is February 19th.
Having a drink for
Friday.
Batman.
Cheers for that. Cheers for Batman.
Happy birthday, Batman. I mean, Bruce Wayne, sorry.
So how's everything going, Sean?
It's going good. As good as can be. You know, it's been a year since I've adjusted to the new normal, but it's good. No complaints.
It's been a while. I know for a while we've been trying to get you on the show, and it's great to have you on. I've been following you for about maybe 3-4 years. Your work is excellent. Looking forward to dive in. So let's dive in. First question is always, let's talk about your origin story. What got you into collecting or into this world?
Okay. Well, we'll start at the beginning. That's a good place to start. I can't remember a time where I wasn't into Batman. Like, my earliest memory is like, and this is dating myself. Remember the Migos, those 70s, those figures?
Yes.
I post this every Christmas as my social media profile picture. It's me at 4 years old holding one like an idiot, and that was like the first time that I was like, and I remember my parents telling me, they're like, you asked all year for this thing, so we got it for you for Christmas. And I'm like, yeah, that's sort of like my first memory of being like fanatical about Batman. And then of course I wanted a costume, and my mom made me one, and then I tried to climb my dresser, and it fell on me, so she got mad. Costume, yeah. Try to do my own stunts. But yeah, I've just always been into Batman, always collected the comics. Because look, man, in the early 80s, there was nothing. You had the cartoon, Super Friends, which really wasn't, and then you had like reruns of the Batman TV show, but you didn't really have a movie. And I can't tell you how much it used to bother me that there was a Superman movie and there wasn't a Batman movie.
Yes, sir. Right there.
Bothered me. Like, so much as a little kid. I'm like, where is the fucking Batman movie?
Did you have the Ben Cooper Batman, like the Halloween suit?
Oh yeah, the one that would like splish your eyeballs. Yeah.
the sauna
flammable in plastic.
With the rubber band in the back.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I still have it sitting.
Wow.
Those things they'd be illegal today.
Oh, you know what? It's like, and I could still smell what the costume smelled like. It smelled like a fire hazard. That's what it smelled like petroleum, like cheap plastic. You know what, man? I fucking love that smell. Like all action figures used to smell like that shit.
Yeah.
Like that new action figure smell. You like take them out of the package and you huff them for like 10 minutes.
Just be so happy you have it. Just smell it.
Oh my God, it's so awesome. Yeah.
I'm like, don't we still do that? Like, I don't know. I smell my figs.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Weird. Like, I'll get like the Hot Toys figures. I'll get them, and of course, I got to do that thing where I'm like, well, I got to open it and make sure it's okay. And then there really isn't that much of a smell to it. Like, or at least I don't think it's as toxic. As
definitely.
Like, 70s and 80s, like those superpowers figures.
Yeah, but everything was made in China by God knows who.
Yeah.
So
but then I remember when the Superpowers figures came out, like in the 80s, like Superpowers, and then they had their own cartoon.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, you know what? How do I get a job doing something with Batman. And I remember going to, and also comic book shops, like specialty comic book shops, were like, I didn't know about them until I hit I was like 12, and like Dark Knight Returns came out, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, now this is fucking like, now I'm an adult. And I went and I would go to the comic book store, and there was always like the older kids that were like cooler, you know what I mean? And this is like, everybody looked like they were from like the Lost Boys. Like everyone, everybody looked like a rock star, but they were fucking losers. Or there'd be the random The Cure looking dude in the comic book store. He was the one that was just kind of like, I would say, you know, that shit. But I remember being like, they need to make this a movie. They need to make this. This is what they need to make. And then I remember San Diego Comic-Con, 1988.
Wow.
I was there. Yep, I was there.
Awesome.
That's how fucking old I am. And I remember Superman's 50th. And there was like a free merch table. And I remember, like, you know, like, and you get like a little bag and shit. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this poster. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And there was a button. It was a little yellow button that says Batman the movie, summer of '89.
Oh, wow.
That I have
stop.
those were given away at San Diego Comic-Con.
That's awesome.
Just so happened to have it on my desk. How funny is that?
And I remember going, what the fuck is this? And then I'm looking in the con book and shit, and there was a Q&A sort of like, I guess, panel.
Yeah.
It was like a slideshow kind of thing. And I went to it, and I remember they were, because this was August of '88. Comic-Con was like late. And they showed like drawings of like what the movie was going to be. And I'm like, there's no fucking pictures of the suit. There's nothing. There's no pictures. And I remember Tim Burton was there. And I know who fucking was. And I remember he wasn't very, like he didn't have a lot to say. You know what I mean? He was just like, Batman's going to be black. And they're like, like, yeah. And I remember, there was like, I think, I really wish there were cell phone cameras and like shit like back then, because I try really hard to remember every single thing I saw. But it was just sort of like, just like pictures of the sets being built and shit, and like their artwork for what they want and their tone, like what they wanted for the movie. And then, of course, the movie came out, and then I made myself sick with excitement the entire year. And on YouTube, it's weird now because other people have done this, I'm sure, but it's like for a while, because I sat by my VCR, Jesus Christ, what an old and I recorded every single TV spot, trailer, everything. And I used to put them on a DVD and sell them on eBay.
No way.
Dude, for like when eBay was like 97, like when DVD was like $1 billion. I knew somebody who had one. And then I'm like, hey, can you put this VHS footage on this DVD? Yep.
And just burn it.
Now they're all over YouTube.
And I download those on YouTube, and I'll have them on my phone because I love them so much.
There's a BBC documentary that I am shocked they haven't re-released with better quality. That I had a friend in the UK that sent it to me, and he was like, "Hey man, have you ever seen this?" And I'm like, "No." And it's full of like it's called Making of a Hero, and it's on YouTube. But there's like you see Michael Keaton like throwing the towel over his head. You see him getting trapped. All this shit. Yeah. And I'm like, why wasn't this in the DVD, the behind the scenes?
All right. I got to look that up.
Yeah.
Definitely got to look that up. So the movie came out.
Mm-hmm. Movie came out. Loved it. I was obsessed with it. And then of course, remember Starlog magazine? Remember that?
Yeah.
Starlog issue 142. That was the cover was Batman. And I remember going to Target and begging my dad like a wino. I'm just going, please, can I buy this fucking magazine? He's just kind of like, yeah, all right. And all he was like, look at it and study it. And so I was like, how do I get a job doing something Batman. And then when I would go to my comic book store, they're like, why don't you just draw the comics? And I'm like, well, that's a good idea. So, and even as a kid, I would always try and draw Batman and stuff. So I would go to San Diego Comic-Con with my shitty panels, and I would stand in line. And each time I'd stand in line, I'd look at like the people in front of me who are like way better. I'm like, totally hired. And then I'd watch them get rejected. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get out of line. I don't need this shit. They're going to say no. So I never really got a portfolio review, really.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it's just like, and then I took a hiatus, and like, you know, I moved back east in the like sort of like early to mid 90s. And then I'm like, oh, I'll be in a band. So I did that for like a lot of years. And then just was like, you know what, I'm gonna be, because in high school I always wanted to either be a comic book artist or a makeup artist, like do all like you know, because I love horror movies too. So I'm like, oh, I want to do like Freddy and like, you know,
nice,
make monsters. And then when I saw the Batman costume, I was like, I need to know how they did that. And then I found out. You know what else?
Wow.
Like this is like in the MySpace days. Like I would look at the credits in movies and I'd like write down who did what.
Wow.
And try and find them online. This is before Facebook. You know, and see if they had an email or a website that they, you know, at the company that they worked at and shit.
Wow.
And I tracked down people that worked on those movies, and they were more than happy to tell me what they did.
Wow.
But a lot of them were just like, they couldn't remember a lot, especially like from 89, because they shot that in 88. And a lot of those people now are like, they're like senior citizens. They're older. So like I've had conversations with 4 people that worked on the suits, and they can't remember shit. Their memory is very spotty because they had to rush to get it done. The only thing I know for sure is there were 2 cowls. There was the proof of concept cowl that Michael Keaton, that they initially did, and they go, okay, we figured out how we're going to do this. And then he put it on, and then it needed to be corrected because the mouth opening was like, the eye holes were different, and there was no nose shelf. So this is really big. And then Michael looks down, he's doing this shit. So when there's like this part in the Batman behind the scenes where they talk about the Batmobile, and they're like, oh, we sat in the car and then it cut his ears off. That's crock of shit. It's like, what happened was the stunt guy got in there with the first cowl, and the guy was tall, and you know, it clipped his ears, but there was the final cowl, the hero cowl, the one that Michael wore. But if you watch 89 Batman, I'll send you the screenshots. That first cowl's in the movie. Stunt guys wore it. Like on the roof where they shoot him and he's like, and he falls.
Yeah.
Freeze it. That is the stunt guy, and that cowl is the first version.
Oh, wow.
Anything you see from afar, like when they look up and Commissioner Gordon's like, oh my God, when he like shows up.
That's a good impression.
That's also that cowl. There's a couple of other shots, especially Axis Chemical, where Jack Nicholson's walking up the thing and then Batman follows him. First cowl. And I get in arguments with Batman, especially 89 Batman experts.
Oh, boy.
I eat him for breakfast. Bring it. Bring your
right
best.
there.
Let me school you on this shit. And like and here's the thing, and a lot of stuff like I would seek it out. I would go and I'd look for it and sweat blood to find it. And then of course I find it, and then everyone's like, hey, hand it out. Like, give me the free, like, show me what you got.
No, work for it, bro.
Like pictures of the masters, like the actual cowl masters, they still exist. And I got to see them. When they redid the bat suits for there was no Comic-Con last year, but Comic-Con before, the world went to shit. They had all the bat suits, and they had to refurbish the 89 suit and the return suit. And I saw what Warner Brothers had. I got a call from a friend of mine was just like, hey, we're going to be putting these suits together. Well, Ironhead did it. And they were like, they don't have anything that's like in good shape. So we know you're an 89 guy. So what do you got? And I'm like, I got everything. And not only do I have everything, I scanned it. So I used to have a suit. And then I was like, do I mold this and ruin it? Or do I take advantage of technology and digitally scan this? Now, this was 8 years ago. So it's way better now. But I thought ahead and I was just kind of like, let's scan this. And I think I even sent you a picture of the cowl being scanned. And it was a production made cowl, but it was never used because there were like flaws with it and shit. So it wasn't circulated and it was never used. It was in really good shape. So it was a really good specimen to scan. And that's what I scanned and used to make the version of the cowl that I have. It's all off of the original suit, but there were 2 cowls in that movie. Like I can't. I'm not gonna post pictures online, but I'll show you what I'm talking about, and you're gonna be like,
you've kind of teased that you have a collection of photos that have been unpublished that you have in your collection, and I think. Yeah, and then you've got them as posters in your place. I've seen like when you post pictures of your place. But how the hell did you get a hold of those?
Well, I'll say it like this:
are those like Herb Ritz negatives?
Herb Ritz.
Holy shit!
Color transparencies. Now,
wow.
Now I'll say this: anytime you see a Herb Ritz photo online, it was because I was an idiot. I had them scanned when I first joined the Batman forums, and to contribute, I'd be like, I would share them, but what I would do is I would make them black and white, and I would mark. But I was friends with some people, and I stupidly shared with them, and they have made their way online, and I think I have about 240 shots.
Holy shit!
Oh damn!
Though, because it's like rapid film camera, like it's like, Keaton like moving. So like, there's some shots that kind of look identical, but they're slightly different. So what I did was I'm like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna fucking share them anymore because they're just gonna make their way online, and then like I have Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman wardrobe test Polaroids.
Whoa.
What?
So wait, so those are like the original Polaroids?
Tim Burton took them.
Holy fuck, dude!
Jesus.
So you're on some like
paperwork with notes and shit. Yeah, like or Profiles in History just had on their auction the '89 movie Polaroid daily book continuity book where the costume continuity, and like I saw how much that went for because I made a play for it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Shit, like that went for a lot, and whoever has them is just like it's gold. It's just a gold mine. But I have the Pfeiffer ones, and there's 2 Polaroid shots of Kathy Long, her stunt woman, in the suit, and I was thinking about just seeing if I could reach out to somebody who has like access to Michelle and be like, hey, you want copies of these? Because you might be coming back. I mean, they're bringing Keaton back for Flashpoint, so
that'd be dope.
It's literally, she pulled out her bullwhip last year and started posting on Instagram her fucking around with it. So I'm wondering if there was a conversation that was happening.
That was like her second post on Instagram.
Yep.
That was her first.
The video.
That was her first one, and she was like, meow. And I was like, shut the fuck up. She broke
amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, so
Instagram that day.
It's funny because you mentioned about those Herb Ritz photos, and I forget, like, I don't know if I saw them come up somewhere on the internet like recently, and I was like, oh, I've never seen some of these. So I took some screenshots and I uploaded them to my Instagram. And then I noticed this other page who I won't mention, but they took those and they reposted the ones I posted. And I knew that they must have reposted them from my page because the way that I edited them, they had the same border on it or whatever. And then I saw that someone asked a question about them. And then the guy goes, "Oh yeah, these were released and whatever." And then I saw you post, you're like, "These have never been released." And then he goes, "Yes, they have." And then you were like, "No, they haven't, because I have the fact that this dude was trying to like."
Again, here's the thing. It's like I could literally sometimes if I wanted to be petty, I would make a video of me pulling the negative out, holding it up to the light, being like, "Is this what you're looking for? Is this the release that you're looking for?" Every Herb Ritz shot. Now the Herb Ritz Foundation did release some pictures on their website. And there was one image that I do not have that they released, and I'm like, shit, I would love to have that. It's a picture from the back of him kind of like holding his cape up.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I only have one image from the back. Out of all the images that I have, I only have one, and that's the one that I blew up, and I have it in my hallway, going up my staircase. But I have a lot. I have a unused, almost perfect condition Danny DeVito penguin nose appliance.
What?
I was trying to find a picture of it, so I was gonna send it to you guys, but for my organization with all of my pictures, I have a hard drive that I have things a little bit more itemized, but it's like I can't fucking find it. It's like it's somewhere. That's also the problem with a lot of my collection. It's a little bit of a chaotic mess, but I know what I have. It's like I'll remember it.
Of course.
But when it comes to prop stuff, I have a master of the Returns towel. I only know of 4. 2 of them are in the hands of people who worked on the movie, and well, actually, technically 5. And there's another guy in LA that I know that has one, and then there's a dude in the UK that has one, and he shouldn't have it.
Yeah, that's not nice.
But it's like I'm always looking, and now that I feel like, because back in the day they didn't know the worth of this shit. Like they throw it out, make room. They're like, "Oh, that movie's done. Throw out the shit." And then if anything was left over, it was accident. Now they hoard everything. Now everything's
everything's valuable.
Yeah. Does it make a lot of money with their franchise? They're like, "Hey, sell those props. Get those costumes out of here." Yeah.
My favorite of that set is another one that I don't think I had seen until I don't remember when it was, last year when I saw it. I had never seen it, and it was the side profile of the cowl of Keaton and the cowl. It's a very amazingly detailed profile.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you saw. Did you see that just recently? I don't know if it was Mondo or what poster company used that as.
That's one of the ones that I have blown up. I have that negative.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite out of all the ones that you have, or though actually I'll change that up. Out of the ones that have mistakenly leaked onto the internet, which would you say that people who've seen it, which is your favorite?
There's one where Keaton's kind of like it's like a
I know
it's like he's giving he's leading with his forehead in the picture. That's probably my favorite one because it's clear. Because some of them they're taken from you could tell Herb Ritz took them from afar. So you blow them up. When they get to a certain resolution, they start to get a little grainy. But all the close-up ones, like the mid-level, from the waist up shots, or really hard close-ups of the face, you can zoom in this big and see every problem with the Jack's makeup, and all this shit. Yeah, it's awesome. There's and also the Bat Gauntlet. I remember when I was getting those images from the person that I got them from, who, by the way, he used to work for he worked for some, like, he did something in production. He really wouldn't tell me what his job was, but he was retired, and he had a ton of memorabilia stuff. And I remember he had one of those one transparency. He put it actually on eBay. Now, I used to be a psycho, and I would like look for misspellings all the time when people would post, you know, like Bat-Man or like
Batmad.
That, all of that. Photo, slide, transparency, contact sheet, all that. And I saw one, and I was like, what? And so I emailed him, and I go, how much would you want to end this auction early? By the way, this was probably when I first got an eBay account, which was like 96. Like, it was like early. Back when it was like no one really kind of like, people used it, but it was like, it didn't, the fad hadn't caught on. So I grabbed it early, and the guy goes, yeah, it's just sitting in my office, so make me an offer. And I'm just kind of like, how about this? How about you tell me what you would want for this, and do you have any more?
Whoa.
And he goes, oh yeah, I got a lot more. And I'm like,
whoa,
I want all of them, and I will pay you like whatever it is. And he's like, we worked out a deal to where every month I would send him money, and he'd send me like 20 shots.
Holy shit.
What?
Yeah. And it was and I could tell he had a lot of movie kind of like stuff like this, because it was in a box marked B.
Wow.
And yeah. And he went and he goes, I went through the entire box, and this is all I have. And so there's probably about 240 shots.
Wow. Fucking jackpot, dude.
96.
96, yeah. 96. It took me till 97 to get them all, though. It took me about a year.
Worth it.
But
oh yeah.
And then he goes, hey, like, and probably like, I'm gonna say 6 months later, after I, you know, like, this is probably like maybe the end of 97 going into like 98. He goes, hey, a friend of mine's cleaning out her office. She used to work over at Warner Brothers, and she had some Batman stuff, and can I give her your email? And I'm like, yes. So I get this email from this woman, and she goes, hey, I know you're a Batman person, but what I have is some Catwoman stuff. You know, our mutual friend sent me to you and said you're into this stuff, and I'm like, oh, what do you have? And it was the Polaroids. And it was,
oh my god!
And it's the schedule for and faxes going back and forth between the studio to make decisions on like what the costume needs to look like.
Oh my god!
Anybody that worked in the shop, their memos for the day. Yep, a shoot schedule, all that shit.
Holy fuck!
Drawing of like Michelle Pfeiffer. It's like a crude drawing where he would circle where he wanted the stitches placed. All of that.
Dude, that's fucking priceless.
Yeah, I have it in a special box that's like
fireproof.
Oh yeah, like it's in a metal box. Kind of like, you know, when I pull them out, and I don't like to fuck with the Polaroids too much, because like I just don't want them to fade or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did scan them for the guy at Ironhead. His name's Jose Fernandez. He actually sculpted Pfeiffer's cowl. He actually sculpted Keaton's bat cowl too. This is when he was like in his 20s. This is his first job ever. And now he runs Ironhead and fucking he's making Batflex suits. But he found out that I had him, and he goes, hey man, can I get copies of those? Because he's in the background of one of them. She's got it on, and he posted it on his Instagram, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh no.
What are you doing? This was supposed to be just for you, but you know, he's more than made up for it since then. So
I was watching one of those documentaries where they were talking about you know, they're redoing the suits for the specific display at the Backlot tour, and they're interviewing him. And I posted that video of that interview, and then he says he goes, yeah, you know, when we were looking to remake it, he goes, I had to contact a friend who had copies of the original casting and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh. And then I remember, like, I forget how you and I were chatting about that. And you were like, yeah, I was the friend. I was like, no way. That makes so much sense. They go to you. They go to you for that stuff. That's insane.
Warner's didn't have it. They did, like, all the suits they had. And, dude, I got to go there. And what happened was this. He goes, hey, man, just come up, bring what you have. And, we'll just work it out. And I'm like, okay. So I did. I loaded my car, threw Keaton's body in there, the head, and I brought it up there. And he's like, okay, well, come in and I'll show you what Warner Brothers has. And it was a clothing rack with every example of what they had left, like that survived from Returns and 89. And I don't know if you guys ever touched foam latex before, but when it gets old, it's like a piece of toast.
It crumbles.
It's so crumbly. And
Sad.
they're stiff. And I was just like, this like, and I'm touching it, and all the capes are bagged and shit, and they're all stiff and shit. And I was like, holy shit. And then there's like Target boxes, like boxes that you would get at Target, like, just put your Christmas decorations in and shit. Batman gloves, the belt.
Oh my God.
Boots, and they're all tagged.
I would have been like,
dude, I got to touch it. I was like, this is the belt. And there's always like this thing with the belt. Everyone's like, what color is it really? And like, especially with Batman costume nerds, they're always obsessed with like every detail. But I got to see that shit up close, and it's like, that's why I'm like, Jose's made up for it. He was very generous with the access that I got to see. Now, of course, because it's a professional environment, I don't go, could I take pictures of this shit? But I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But I got to go up there, and what ended up happening was they needed legs, and I had a master copy of the legs, and then they needed the glove armor, and they needed the boot armor, the boot cover. And also Keaton's body. They needed his body cast. And so I brought it up there, and they digitally scanned the body, and then they reposted it. And then, they made a mold of the legs, and then, they ended up putting the suit together. And the suit, I think it's and the cowl. They were able to, because I told him, he goes, do you have a cowl? And I go, I had a cowl, but I have a digital scan. He goes, okay, well, can I get the digital scan? I said, yes. In the digital scan. And then what ended up happening was I go, hey, you could just reach out to the person who owns the master. And he goes, there's a master? And I'm like, oh, yes. And so I told him where he could find it. And so it's basically a digital render of the cowl. So, and they also posed everything so that it would be like a mannequin.
Yeah. And
archival. So the chest is probably the best example that survived of the actual chest on the 89 suit, the cape, and then the belt. And what's funny is I told him about the belt because he pulled the belt out, and I go, that's the Returns belt. And then he goes, how the fuck do you know? I'm glad you asked me, Jose. The Returns belt, the pods are further away from the buckle. The 89 belt, the pods are closer to the buckle. The reason for that
Boom.
is because the strap was one piece. It was like one long piece, and then it would wrap around to the front. And then they would have a dummy buckle closure. They only made one hero. And then what ended up happening was, and if you watch the movie, what the fuck is it? It's that Kid and Play movie, Class Act. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Remember that movie? They go into a wax museum. There's an 89 suit in there.
Oh, wow.
Perfect 89 suit. But the problem was the belt buckle was falling off on the 89 suit because they put it on backwards. And I think that's why the Returns belt has the pods closer, because during the production of that movie, they were made, or when that movie was released, Batman Returns was also in production, and that's when they were making the suits. And I think that they were like, "Oh yeah, it closes in the back, and you put the buckle on the strap." So I think that's probably why the belt was done like that. It's my theory. There's way more guys out here that worked on Returns that have memories of like what they did than on 89. I feel like with 89 they used like Jim Henson's Creature Shop for like the foam, or Jim Henson guys to run the foam. It's just a lot of foggy memory for 89. So that's why I try to go back and read all the articles and just try and piece things out, with people's memory that still remember like what they did on there. There's a guy named William Todd Jones, I think is his name. He's also on Facebook. He was Keaton's like suit wrangler. Like he dressed him and shit. He had a lot of really good info. Good tea too. He had some fucking good stories like what happened on that set and shit. There's also a book. It's called Hit and Run. It's about John Peters.
Oh wow!
Production company. Yeah, it's an older book. It's like I think like late 90s, early 2000s, and there's a whole chapter in there about Batman, and it's like tabloid shit. Yeah, so that's a good read. Just go to the chapter with Batman. No one gives a fuck about it.
I was gonna say the same thing. There's only one chapter to read.
I went right to the Batman chapter.
Yeah.
What? Whoa. Yeah.
So man, you obviously awesome. 89 hit you super hard. A couple years later,
oh yeah,
Batman Returns comes out. Like, did it hit you the same way, or what is your take on
Batman
Returns?
I was ready for Batman Returns. See, when 89 came out, like I was still like too young to have a job, so I had to like rely on my parents to buy me shit for 89. But when Returns came out, I was working at McDonald's, and of course,
oh my god,
McDonald's got the campaign for like the Happy Meals and shit.
They had the toys, they had the cups,
everything, and I'm like,
oh,
I want all that.
Hell
and,
yeah!
They're like, all right, take it, and I'm like, yeah, you know that big standee where you can put the cups in it.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Yep.
Didn't the cups come in like the Frisbees too?
Yep, on the top, the
Frisbee cup.
Yeah.
Shit, I gotta find that on eBay.
Yeah,
gotta order those.
Like whenever, because they would come in and they would be labeled like you have to sell this cup this week and all that shit. I just would take sleeves of them home. Yeah,
I remember
I'm going to take a sleeve of this Batman cup. Yeah,
I was like begging my mom to go to McDonald's every week because every week was a different cup. And I think I still have the penguin with the duck cup, and I still have the Michelle Pfeiffer. And I also have isn't Michelle Pfeiffer and Batman kissing in one cup?
It's
or the dance?
They're dancing. You want to know what's fucking weird? Is that was the cup that sold the best.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
That's the one that sold out the fastest when I worked at McDonald's. And I'm like,
I still have that one out. My parents.
Is Michelle Pfeiffer's on it?
Fucking, and I'm like, okay. But our McDonald's also was one of the only McDonald's that had like these special tarps that would advertise. They're yellow, they're giant, and it's got like the artwork. It's got like special artwork on it, and I have those.
Nice.
Didn't Taco Bell have a campaign for Returns as well?
89.
Okay, 89. So my buddy, his wife is, I call her the Taco Bell heiress because her dad, with his business partners decades ago, went in and started just buying and creating different Taco Bell franchises. So they'll just build a new franchise and put it in an area where there's already other fast food restaurants. So that's just what he does for his work. And I guess they had absorbed a different franchise that they didn't own previously. So they absorbed this franchise. You got to go in and you got to do an inventory. So they go into like the back, and they went in the back room, and this place was horribly managed. They never put out any of the promotional material. So they had promotional material from 30 years back, just in boxes.
Oh, I know.
That they never, and so they're just opening. So they opened a box, perfect mint condition Keaton standee. Mint condition, never been opened. It was just in the box. So he shows me a picture of that, and I go, dude, I don't care. Just get me in touch with your father-in-law. I want that. He's like, well, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Yeah, I know. So give it to me. Like,
I have 3. I swear to God, I do. Yeah, and they're still in the box. They're not even assembled.
Family.
I got the only one I have is I got a really. It's all mangled and bent. It's actually not bad, but it's pretty good. I got one from Frankensons that's assembled, and I have that in the other room. But man, it's like some of that stuff. Like it's just the campaigns were so great. Like the promotional campaigns and all the stuff they got from it is amazing.
Do you remember Suncoast Video?
Yeah,
I got the standee for the '89 movie from Suncoast Video. I remember going in there, and I remember going to like is everybody here? You guys are all in California, right?
No, New York.
I'm the only one.
New York.
You're the only one? Oh, where are you? Yeah. Oh shit. Where's
New York City?
Oh, New York?
Yeah, I'm Albany, New York.
Holy shit. What about you, Everything Batman?
Albany, New York.
Albany. Okay, so 2 New York, 2 okay.
So
I lived in Boston for a long time, and
nice.
So I do not miss those winters.
Oh,
at all.
Tell me about it, especially this year.
yeah.
Is it like what I gotta know? What how cold is it there right now?
Right now, hold on, let's check. I think it's not that bad. It's not. It's kind of crazy because it's not as bad as Texas. We're only at 28.
Holy shit, 28.
Yeah. You guys over there in California turn 65 and get your hoodies out.
Shorts.
we're getting in the 80s next week.
Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, we're gonna be 30s and 40s all next week. So I'm like, all right, rocking a t-shirt. That's hot for me.
Dude, hearing that makes me want to put on a sweater. So you get flashbacks of shoveling snow. Nope.
Oh
no,
dude, that's the worst.
Yeah.
So all right. So we talked about
real quick.
Go ahead, Grumps. Yeah.
One cool collectible I have. My best friend's dad was NYPD. Yeah, in the 80s and all that. He got me an '89 subway poster.
Oh
so
shit!
I still have that.
Is it the signal? The bat signal?
Yeah. I mean, this fucking thing is gigantic, though. I guess it was big back then. But yeah, that was
I have
one.
a bus stop poster. The bus ones.
Nice. Yeah.
Massive.
I have some. What do I have? The Dark Knight. I have a couple of those bus stop posters.
Nice.
I'm like the only thing I came across lately was I'm pretty sure you guys remember when Teases bought that collection.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was like all these T-shirts and hats and like
he got all these painter hats and all over print Batman Returns shirts from 80 or from 92. And he just bought this collection from this guy. He had this awesome duffel bag. I mean, and it's all like
coffee
the guy never
mugs.
wore it. Yeah, it's got all the tags on it.
I'm staring at I got the Batman Returns poster hanging over here behind my TV. I have like the Joker poster from Batman '89. I think you and I both got one, Tom.
I got it right over there.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, nice.
That's the Batman poster I had since I was a kid. I just framed it up nice, then I got the Joker next to it.
It always bothered me that they chose that picture of Nicholson as the Joker to make the poster. You know what I mean? I'm like, you picked the fucking beach picture? Like,
all the scenes.
Of all the scenes, you don't want to do the fucking like the reveal poster, or even in the museum with like the running makeup.
Oh man, that was a good one.
You know what I mean? Like, of all the fucking pictures, they chose that one.
Keaton's got like 3 or 4. He's got that one. He's got the one in the Batcave. He's got the one with the Batmobile.
Yeah.
There's not as many variants of the other guy, but
so has Nicholson? I mean, has Nicholson kind of moved on from the whole situation? I know people pound Keaton. Obviously he's coming back.
I think Nicholson was a one and done, and that was really the only way they could get him. He'd be like, I'm going to do one and then I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do like, I think he came in, got a piece, and then left.
Yeah. Like he doesn't even talk about it, right?
Why they killed him off.
He's not like nostalgic for it or anything like that, right?
He did.
You know what? I think he's mellowed over the years. Like when they did remember when he did the interviews for the special edition Batman? Burton.
He had the little lapel. He had the Batman lapel and his purple.
That was like the first time he's talked about it, because Jack Nicholson used to famously never give interviews.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, okay, for anything.
And so he was always sort of like, his in his opinion, he's just like, if you know about me, you're not gonna, you're just you're going to see that instead of like, you know, enjoying my performance, or you won't believe my performance. And I just think because he was such a fucking wild man that he didn't want to go on the record, you know, talking about all the crazy shit he did.
Such a cokehead.
Dude, he hung out with Warren Beatty and Roman Polanski.
So much coke.
The biggest at the time.
So much coke.
Jesus Christ.
Cocaine everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you don't think he did that shit on the 89 Batman movie?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because Keaton talks about how he would like be up all night and he would sleep. He would sleep in the makeup chair at like 5 a.m. after he came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From partying.
Well, like it's kind of.
He's already wearing white makeup. You're not going to see anything.
Yeah. And it's like, and you're playing the Joker, so it's like, all right, I'm good. Like, I just gotta act stupid.
Mark has said like numerous times, he's like, you know, we would do a take with Jack, and then we would go do a second take, and he would just do it different. So we would have 5 different fucking takes, and we're like, well, which one do we like? And
that's amazing.
Yeah, pick the one that was, you know, yeah. I would love to see that. Just give me like, I don't understand why they don't open up the vault and just give us a 9,000-hour long making of Tim Burton Batman.
Right.
It'd be cool if like you could like edit your own, right? Like, you take all those like clips and like edit your own movie and like, wow, all right.
Yeah, I mean,
I did it.
I would love that. I'd sit here all day and do that shit. So, ooh, this is the version 5 of fucking 89.
So, all right. So we discussed a lot, especially 89, 92. Your collection, you have probably one of the best Batman 89 collections that I've heard, especially with all those pictures.
It's pretty big. I would love to see. I would love to, like. I mean, I don't say it's the biggest because there's probably someone out there that's going to watch us and go, "Hold my beer," and then and
I'm gonna get a DM, and I'm like, all right, cool.
You know, like.
I think you and I collectively could probably say we have the biggest 89 collection if we combined our forces easily.
Totally.
And I'm riding your coattails on that one though. But
it's like I will say, and I talk with Aaron from Bat the Sun about this all the time. I think he has more stuff, but I definitely because there's some stuff I won't buy. Like I don't. It used to be like if it had a bat signal on it, I'd buy 5. Like I was crazy. And then I just kind of was like, now I only just get what I like. Right. I don't really like go crazy.
Yeah.
But I only check like Toy Fair comes around. I'm like, ooh, what are they making?
Right.
Toy Fair is a problem.
I made a decision several years ago to stick to specifically Keaton, or any as close to as related to Keaton as possible. Like that includes like figures, toys, all that kind of thing. So,
which is easy to do because they don't make that
much
stuff with Keaton.
Yeah.
And now it's going to change.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sean,
man.
He's going to be the Batman again. So,
Sean, you would probably remember, like, well, I was, gonna date myself here. I was 14 when the movie came out, 89. But that was like the first. That was like the first. That was the beginning for that type of merchandise. Like you before that, you'd never really seen that much merchandise for.
It went like this. Star Wars was the first time that was the blueprint for it had been established. Then after Star Wars, I felt like they tried to do it with E.T. Like that shit was E.T. was everywhere. Like little dolls. The Reese's Pieces had a fucking campaign with them. And like
Atari games.
I remember E.T. being like a really like a product of, you know what I mean? Like they were really licensing the fuck out of that. And even kind of Gremlins a little bit too. But I feel like with E.T., I remember being like, man, there's a lot of E.T. shit around,
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Who wants?
And
just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, you did it. You know that was supposed to be a horror movie. Rick Baker was supposed to.
Still scared me.
Yeah. And then they changed
the shit out of
family friendly fucking thing.
Fucking glowing belly and shit. Get the fuck away from me, dude. It's like.
It's so weird too because that suit is not very. That doesn't want to move. It's like the Carlo Rambaldi guy. It's the same dude that did the shitty werewolf in Silver Bullet. It looked like a fucking teddy bear. Yeah, he did the E.T. costume.
Unbelievable. But all right, so we discussed a lot of great things, but we want to see some things now that you're going to help us discuss. So, Tom, hit us with some picks.
Let's go in timeline. Let's go by year. So let's start with the old 89.
That is a screen or not screen used, but production made 89 cowl. That was in my collection for a long time. It is now that is the one that Prop Store now has. Remember, there was like the Prop Store like showed it was like on a Keaton mannequin head, and it was like sort of restored and everything. That is the cowl.
I got my eye on those.
That's
Migos.
the same cowl. That's it with the proper Keaton face casting it.
Gorgeous. So how when did you first start making suits?
I always sort of sculpted a little bit, like in high school and in art class, but I didn't start really doing it probably until 2003.
Did you like teach yourself, or like you just
taught myself?
Damn,
that's amazing, dude.
Wow.
That's a copy of that's off of the master copy of the Returns cowl I have. That is a copy off of a production made Returns chest armor. That is a copy of a stunt belt, and that is a stunt Returns cape. So it's all screen lineage, and it fit. So and I was happy.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. So you were saying how like you're about Keaton's size, huh?
Yeah.
You're a little taller.
A little bit taller. He's 5'9". I'm a little over 5'10".
Yeah.
So
but
his sizing is sort of like average, like kind of size. But yeah, like his proportions are pretty lean, so everything fit pretty well.
Cool.
That is my latest Batman cowl. I redid the Arkham Asylum cowl. I did one about 10 years ago, and I only had like a couple of pictures. Actually, Jim Lee sent them to me. And
wow,
he was like, I saw him at Comic-Con. I go, hey man, I met him through a mutual friend, and I was going to do a cowl for him. And he goes, hey, I go, do you have any pictures? Can you get me some sneaky kind of, because the game hadn't been released yet. And he goes, okay. So he sent me like 3 pictures, and I sculpted my first version just using 3 pictures. And then, when I started getting a little bit more comfortable with my sculpting, and I started making muscle suits, I was like, you know what? I want to remake the cowl. And I finally just pulled the trigger on it this year and redid it.
That's awesome. Speaking of the game, did you ever get into playing the games?
I liked the first game.
Yeah.
I liked Arkham City, and then I stopped. I'm not really a gamer, but I really enjoyed playing those.
Yeah, play Arkham Knight, man. Arkham Knight's insane.
Those are good, but the first 2 stories are the best because they were written by Paul Dini.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 favorites. They're just the story is some phenomenal stuff. Let's take a gander at this guy.
Yep, that's the muscle suit, obviously inspired by Batfleck. But the abdomen, I kind of went in a little bit more of a action figure-y, generic kind of muscly way. That's another shot. You can see the close-up of the texture on the dye sub that I used. That was basically, I was looking for a pattern that looked like kind of like a weave, like a woven pattern. And there was a necktie that I saw online that had a pattern on it. And I had my friend Jordan, he did the, I go, hey, can you put this on a dye sub pattern? And he's like, give me 10 minutes. And put it on there. And that is what I use for the majority of my muscle suit builds.
That's awesome. Speaking of Batfleck.
Oh, yep.
Dude.
That was a dye sub, or not a dye sub, a textured suit that I got from China. It was on AliExpress. Someone was making them, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see how this would look on the muscle suit. So I did a new abdomen sculpt that was a little bit more Affleck-like. Threw it on there. I have castings of the belt and the emblem, so I threw them on there, and that is the result.
I need one of those.
And that's just I just threw the cowl with his face cast underneath it, and some gauntlet prints.
And you have your army of cows behind that too. Look at that.
Oh yeah, there you can see. If you got a really sharp eye, you can see Michael Keaton's Batman Returns headcast.
There it is.
Yeah, it was lent to the production of Birdman to make the Birdman.
What?
Yeah. They used it when they did the Birdman costume and Keaton's body too. Yeah,
That's crazy, man. This is awesome.
It's from Bat the Sun. It's Wolverine. It's like, when you think of like Marvel characters and cowls, really Wolverine is like the only one that kind of has a as recognizable sort of like mask as Batman. And so they had me like do the cowl for that incredibly jacked actor, Jonathan Carroll. He's like his arm could like literally stop a bullet. Like it's like no body on that man anywhere.
Like,
isn't this guy? He's also like he looks like a good Wolverine too, because he's like a brick.
He's perfect as Wolverine. Yeah. Kevin Porter. Yep, that's the costume test for Batman Vader.
Wow, really?
Oh wow.
Yep.
How long ago was that?
That was 2014. We shot it, and we shot it in, I think it was June or July 2014, and then we released it that November or December.
He loves you, man. He's always putting your stuff on. And then you made a new one for the specific. The
new one. That's they're actually releasing it, I think, in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Dying is easy. Yeah, I did a whole new bat suit for him. Which was inspired by Arkham and Batfleck.
That's awesome.
How tall is he again? He's what, 6'5"?
He's 6'5", not in the costume. Then you put him in the costume with the boots and the ears. He's like almost 7 feet tall. He's gigantic.
I'm 6'7", so I'm ready to wear one.
Oh, yeah.
This is your cowl in this Batman Vader video.
Yes.
Aside from the movie stuff, is this like, could this be an example of the most viewed thing that your stuff has been in?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, Bat and the Sun, like I have a good working relationship with them because we're the same when it comes to being like ridiculously obsessed with Batman.
Yeah.
And now Aaron's a great filmmaker in his own right. He has a lot of other interests, but we both share the Batman obsession. So whenever he's like, and in fact, Dying is Easy, the new one that he just shot, that was sort of like, we were talking about it and I'm like, I never really did I never really did a custom suit for Kevin, like the full thing. And I was like, I really want to do something. Think of something. And then he's just like, all right, I have an idea. And then he came up with the script and then he goes, all right, let's do it. And then started designing the suit. And yeah, they shot it in August. I was not on set for any of it because I was a little bit too apprehensive with the COVID scare. They were shooting it in LA, and I'm like, well,
epicenter.
I'm good.
Yeah.
They took precautions. They were safe, but I'm a huge sissy, so I chose to avoid.
Better be safe, man.
Avoid the set life.
Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, they did a good job keeping everybody safe there. But I was more comfortable watching from afar.
Right.
So, which kind of sucked because I really would have liked to have been there for the days they were shooting with Michael Madsen. But
yeah,
next time.
I remember when this news hit, blown away by it.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, what can I say about this? There was a third party that reached out to me when I finished my muscle suits, and they go, "Hey, he worked on the show. He goes, I can't tell you what we need it for, but we need 2 muscle suits kits. Can you send us just the muscles?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They were working at it with another sort of like hobbyist cosplay person, and they ended up not having a good relationship with them, and they wanted to move in a different direction. So they went with me. I sent them 2 kits. And then he was sending me updates about how to glue it down and all that good stuff. And he's like, hey, man, we need to flock the suit. And I go, are you guys doing 90s Flash?
How did you know?
And he goes, because he sent me a picture of red flocking on like and I go, you guys are doing 90s Flash. And he goes, you can't tell anybody. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. And I'm like, so I sat on it for like 6 months.
Oh my God.
Damn, dude.
And then I got some pictures of when John Wesley Shipp was like, test fitting his suit. And then of course, what ended up happening was I couldn't say anything. And I go, well, when can I say something? He goes, well, when it airs, you can say
Son
it.
of a bitch.
Jesus. And I'm like, okay, well, they start shooting. John Wesley Shipp posts on his Instagram some candid shot of him in the suit. Everyone freaks the fuck out. So I post the picture that he posted, and I go, hey, that muscle suit looks familiar. And then everyone ran with the, you made the suit. And I just provided the muscles. Now, I mean, if you look at the suit, I would say that a good 75% of that suit is muscles. So I can take credit for that. And I can also take credit for helping them flock it, because what they were using originally just wasn't working. And I'm like, try this. And then it ended up working. But there was a lot of butt hurt about that because I posted and because it was a third party. I don't think they knew that my involvement was extensive in the, in the, where the muscles are concerned. I don't think that they were aware. And when you work on a show, the costume designer gets all the credit and the shop is just a vendor.
Oh,
and
yes,
you don't really,
Well, fuck.
But then again, I was like, well, I'll just make it myself. So
did you know what it was for? Like, did you figure out that it must have been the Flash TV show because he was back in it?
Oh yeah. I mean, my buddy I'll say the acquaintance that I got the information from was working on the CW.
Okay.
I was aware I was a character for that show,
right.
But the company that assembled the whole thing was in Vancouver. I had no part of it. I was like, originally I was like, fly me up there. I'll fucking put that thing together in an afternoon. But that didn't happen. So it's one of those things where while I'm very happy that he's basically wearing my work. It's kind of a bummer, the static that surrounds the release.
Well, it's he's wearing your suit, in my opinion. So this is fucking awesome.
So awesome.
You know what's funny is the body form that I used to sculpt all those muscle forms was Val Kilmer's body from Batman Forever. So it's just ironic that
comes back around.
And I didn't know that was going to be used for Val. Kevin Smith's costume, the person in charge of costumes for Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, reached out to me because they were working with another person that that I knew, and they were like, oh hey, if you need a muscle suit, go to this guy. So I was heard by someone else, and they were like, yeah, we need 2 of them, and I'm like, okay. And what's kind of shitty is I watched the movie and you can't even tell he's wearing a muscle suit. There's no shot of him in the muscle suit. But he is wearing it. That was sent to me. I forget who sent it to me, but and I saw that and I'm like, well, holy shit, there it is. Because when you're like a vendor or when you're someone who just like puts it together and gives it to production, they don't let you go to set or any of that shit. You just kind of, you make it and then you go, all right, moving on. So it's kind of cool to see, to see your stuff on like the big screen or like even your TV screen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
That was a trip.
Batman. You've had multiple Batmen wearing your work, man.
Yes, I'm working on Keaton.
Oof.
Yeah, I'd love to be a part of the whatever they do for him. I'd love to be a part of it.
If it's just a cowl too, man, like you said.
I'm ready. And that's what I'm working on actually right now. That was literally taken like 2 days ago.
Oh.
Yeah. that is the 90s Flash. Now for the CW, they basically just made a face shell and made like a fabric hood and like, you know, like that was it. They didn't make a proper cowl. I started that last week, and I've just been picking at it all week. I've been like, you know, doing, you know, different stuff. So getting it done probably this weekend so that I can start my tests next week. But yeah, that's my next sort of suit project is 90s Flash. I fucking love that.
How long does it typically take to like make one of the cows?
I started it on last Saturday, so it comes out actually pretty fast. But what I end up doing is I like nitpick all the details, like after I block it out and rough it out really fast. Then I'll just sit there for like days, and I take pictures of it and come upstairs and look at it on my computer, and you know, it's better to take a step away and look at something you know, like in an image rather than in front of you. It just gives you more perspective on like if you're, you know, especially with symmetry, and if you're doing everything right and it looks okay from every angle. But it's like I usually work pretty fast when I want to. So that'll probably be wrapped up tomorrow, and so about a week or so.
Nice.
There's a lot going on in this picture.
Let's go back.
There's
oh yeah.
There's Nolan prop or the clown.
Oh yeah, that's a casting from Heath Ledger's Joker mask.
Yeah,
Bank robbery. Yeah.
Suit. Then the Prime One Studio boxes.
There you go.
Nice.
Put them up there because they're so huge, and I
gotta put them somewhere.
Yeah, that's for the mech suit. The mech suit Batman. I put them next to my regular Batman. Those statues are enormous. But I had to have it. There's some 89 cowl emblems right by my arm there. There's like you could see the Beetlejuice bust. I did that like forever ago. I had an ex-girlfriend that was obsessed with Beetlejuice, so I did that. And I really only made one copy. And you know, she's an ex, so I kept the bust. So bye.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
Man, there's a constant conversation amongst us that like this guy Clayface need to be at some point in live action. Man-Bat for sure, man. Like
okay. Now I have told Bat and the Sun that one of the things that I think would be amazing, and I would absolutely love to do this, is, you know, I love like werewolves are like my favorite sort of monster, and American Werewolf in London is my favorite sort of like werewolf horror movie. And I'm a huge Rick Baker fan. And I always thought what would be cool is if there was a Man-Bat transformation, kind of like in a Batman movie. I always thought that would be awesome. And this mask, I basically used like Neil Adams had a very distinct nose on his Man-Bat, like especially in the reveal and his first appearance. It kind of like was like upturned. So what I did when I was sculpting this, I don't know if you could tell, but Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera, I kind of used as my sort of real life reference, kind of. Kind of gave the nose and the and like the curl back lip.
Yep.
And you know, like I would probably put the hair on it a little bit better. If I did another one, but yeah, I like that one. It's that was the one that started me going, you know what, I should do like a line of villain masks. And I started with Man-Bat because that was sort of a commission. Then I did a Joker, and then I wanted to do a Penguin and a Two-Face next. But Clayface and Man-Bat are just dying to be used in a Batman project.
Yeah,
Man, especially, I think. Or
absolutely.
Killer Croc.
At least a justifiable Killer Croc.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't understand what happened with Suicide Squad in that not only did they, I mean, the face was kind of cool, but like they didn't make the dude work out, and they didn't like have him do a bodysuit. So he just looked like a normal dude with an
Funko.
Yeah.
Like a Funko Pop.
Yeah, he did. He looked like that.
A little bit. Yeah. One for best makeup, though.
One for what?
One for best makeup.
Oh, that's right. An Oscar, right? I'm sorry. Oscar-winning Suicide Squad. Let me take that.
I have a silicone version of that in the other room.
Of the croc mask?
Yeah.
I thought the mask looked pretty cool, but like I said, it was just a mask over a normal dude in makeup.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a design choice. I think that whole movie is full of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. You can say that again. That's so after looking at all that, like do you like what else are you looking forward to in the future? Because Jesus, like you worked on so much great things. You have an amazing collection from what you're telling us, and like everything we went through. Like, what is your ideal thing to get next? Like your next major project?
I would absolutely love to work on an official Batman, like something for the films, even if it's just like a week or whatever, just something so I can say, my hands are on that. When Pattinson was announced as Batman, and when I found out that they were shooting in England, I was like, "Fuck,
damn it!
I wish they were shooting it here." But now that Flash, I believe, is being shot here, I'm pretty sure it's in the States. I didn't see a location yesterday when they showed the image of the guy standing by the studios, but like I know that if Ben ends up getting a suit or he wears a suit or whatever and they have to make it, there's a pretty good chance Ironhead's going to do it. Ben is like, and Ironhead have a good relationship, and he loved the suit they made for him. I mean, it's why he fucking put it on for the reshoots. I mean, he used the BVS suit, not the Justice League suit.
What? Oh, that's right. Yeah, because the Nightmare stuff.
Mm-hmm. They pulled that out of archives. They didn't make a new one for it. They basically went back and pulled it. And because he lost so much weight,
he needed the muscles.
It's like he probably glided right into that thing. Yeah, because Richard Citrone, he's a thin dude. He's a real lean dude. I have pictures of him in like the digital when they scan all the actors, the digital the turnarounds. Yeah. I have he did the digital turnarounds for the Nightmare costume, and I have all those pictures, and I've been sitting on those since like they did it in 2014, like the end of 2014. I think that they did all the digital scan stuff, so I've had those for a long time. And it was funny because there weren't really any shots of Ben in the suit until I think the trailer came out, and I remember showing them to people at WonderCon on my phone. I'm like, "This is what his suit's gonna look like," and they're like, "What the fuck? Whoa! He's got bronze on his knuckles, and on the tips of he's got bronze steel toe boots, and like he's got bronze." And then cosplayers would like go spray paint their what they thought like suit was gonna like gold.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Where'd you find? Where'd you hear he's gonna get gold?" "Oh, I saw it on Reevz's phone." And then, people. No, it's not. And then the movie came out, and I'm like, "What?"
Oh my god! So, I had this one question. I was talking to Grumps earlier today, and we had this thing, right? So, after watching Gotham, I don't want you don't have to answer this. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But that final scene of that bat suit. You want to know the guys in the Bat Force were like, "Man, why didn't it call Sean to make a better bat suit?"
They don't. Here's the thing. They were proud of it. That's the long and the short of it. They were like, "Yeah, this is good." And it's one shot. I don't understand this. I don't understand why they even made one. B,
there's no need.
Use a suit that they had in archives. Why didn't you just use even a Dark Knight suit or a mix match, like an amalgamated suit? Just pull a Clooney cowl and a this and a that. You just put it on like someone's standing there.
Bunch of Easter eggs.
Digitally make a costume, one shot. And they made a big production about and the dude that wore it was like taking selfies with people on set and shit. I'm like, you shouldn't be recording this because that suit
Yeah.
sucks. At Comic-Con, when they had all the bat suits, they had that suit there. I watched children walking up to it and going, "What the fuck is this?" Or they're laughing at it and fucking.
Those are good kids. I like those kids.
Yeah, man. Nice work. You know what I mean? It's like.
All right, good. All right, so we all feel the same way. Like I remember, like a lot of us weren't fans of the show. I watched it. Because I'm like, you know what? Let me just put myself through this torture, and no one else could tell me, hey, you didn't watch that? I'm like, no, I did, and it sucked. So when the last episode hit, I was like, all right, let's see what this suit is about. And then I was just like, ugh.
Dude, little kid Bruce Wayne, little kid Catwoman, little kid Joker.
It was like it was little Gotham.
Penguin. Like what? When the show was coming out, when the show was announced, it was supposed to be a cop drama. Like they're trying to do on HBO Max. I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
It was supposed to be Gotham City Central, right?
Yeah,
it was pretty much that.
Oh, he could stalk some serial killers pre-Batman. You know,
would have been way better.
I think so, but then again, the show, even though fucking it was cheesy as shit, people fucking seemed to like it.
It was wildly successful and had really high viewership, which good for them. Like good for them, I guess.
It's a Batman show, one, and the one thing that it did. Well, it was kind of. But what it did do was it took a lot of modern comic book stories, and like threw it in there, random as fuck, and it gave people who were not reading comics like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? That's awesome, and it's like, oh yeah, well yeah, that's Court of Owls. Go read the comics is way better. And, oh yeah, that's 0 Year. Go read the comics. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. It's way better.
Yeah.
And it's like, so in a way, it's like, listen,
gateway drug.
It's a TV show. Like, all right, it's not HBO Max. It's not fucking Showtime. It's not any, like, even, like most WB or CW, whatever it is now, like TV shows, it's still kind of questionable, but gets people's attention. And it's like, people who actually read the comics are like, oh, you should read the comic. You enjoy it. So like, it grabs more people into local comic shops and throws them into that. So it's like, for that, it's good. But for everyone else, it's like, what the fuck are we watching? And
I think the comic book fans and Gotham TV show fans are two different.
Yeah,
they are.
I
don't know how to have a conversation with them without sounding condescending.
Right. There's no need.
Yes. Yeah.
Just pat them in the head and be like, good for you.
Tousle their hair.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. I think Gotham fans are more CW fans than they are like anything else. And because like the CW has a formula for young, pre-teens that they just know what those kids like. And that
a little edgier than G-rated.
Right. And it's it's whatever, it works. So okay, whatever. But
that should be the target audience. It's like, if what we want to watch is going to be on HBO, we're going to watch Watchmen. We're going to watch, anything on HBO, anything beyond PG-13 or 13 or whatever.
Do you remember the Spawn cartoon on HBO? Does anybody?
Yeah, that was brutal.
Todd McFarlane had the greatest thing ever because they're like, you're going to put an animated cartoon on HBO and make it adult, and
yes,
he said, he goes, listen, you're an adult longer than you're a kid, and it's like, so people like this shit. People like the comics. People like animation, and adults are people too. So why not do something for them? And I always thought of that, and I'm like, man, what an obvious fucking thing. And he's like, people like I think people don't give Todd McFarlane enough credit for being a pioneer for a lot of like sort of the edgier side of like comic, like read those original Spawn comics. It's like he was known for Spider-Man, and then he moves to Spawn, and it's just like he's
it's dark as fuck.
Serial killers with ice cream scoops getting shoved in their chest and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember reading it as a senior, being like, "Oh my god, this is so metal." It's like I thought it was so awesome, and then the movie came out, and I'm like, "This is pretty bad." Cartoon, because I think the cartoon was better than the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But
and apparently he's chasing a new movie, a new Spawn movie.
Yeah. Yep. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx could do it. That should be interesting. He's an amazing actor. He's like a triple threat. So let's see how that goes.
Give me all of that. I want to see all of that.
He could be funny. He could sing. He could fucking do everything. This guy's is a jack of all trades. But Todd, man, he does everything. He understands that, like exactly what you said, that we are adults a lot more longer than we're kids.
Yeah.
And we should see more of that. There's we kind of are. If you look at like Netflix TV shows and all this crap that's coming out, it's like it's all comic book related, and everyone's like, "Oh, have you seen this TV show?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a comic book," and it's like, "Really?" And it's like, "Yeah." Like there's not much original shit going out because everything's been in a comic book already. You know, all the major Netflix things. When you think about Stranger Things or like. A bunch of them, you go down like movies.
Studios are starting to realize that there's A, there's a built-in audience. B, there's already a structure there. I mean, it's already written, so all you'd have to do is just adapt it for TV or film.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the, I won't say heavy lifting, but like the structure is there, and they could just go in there. It's no different than when they would buy rights to a book. Only comic books have a visual. It's a visual medium, so they're already storyboarded for you. So it's no different than that. Only
if most directors and producers keep that for live action, we'll be a lot more happier with the movies we're watching, especially in DC.
Well, I say this to people all the time. People like Batman is not a character. Batman is a company. There are a lot of people that have. Like, you don't just walk in a room and go, I'm going to make this Batman movie like this, and he's going to look like that. They're going to make, whoa.
Business.
10 people that have to come in here and approve this shit.
Yeah, he's a business.
Nobody realizes it. I think it's like, and I get it all the time, and it's very flattering. Like, I'll post something, and they're like, why don't they hire you? It's like, they could. They don't. Because the problem is this. While I would love to do it, there's something to be said for hiring a professional to come in and do what they're told. They don't want to hear any fucking like flack. They don't want to hear, Batman's ears should look like it. If I worked on the Batman, the Pattinson movie, and I don't like the costume. I don't like it. But I also have lived long enough to know that that's not going to be his final look, and he'll probably evolve. And I think Robert Pattinson's a good actor. I like the tone that they're going for. So if I only have one gripe with the suit, all I got to do is just wait. And then, it'll probably catch up. And there's probably a reason why it looks like that. So I'm not going to be a hater, you know what I mean? Especially when it's out of context. I haven't even seen any. And that trailer that they showed, that little teaser back in.
It's nothing.
It's fucking awesome. So I'm here for it. But if I was working on it, I would be like, this is the design. This sucks. Can I?
Fired.
But then they're going to be like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
He's going to cost us too much money. Get rid of him.
Yeah, that's why they don't put fanboys and shit. They got too many opinions. They, like show business, not show art.
It's funny because,
but it's like a business.
As a fan, you follow Reeves on we all follow Reeves on IG, and you see a cow, and you're like, that's Batman. Like that's what Batman looks like just taken off the page, and and then you see these, Gotham and the Batman or whatever. Come on,
I would rather do what I like and have 100% of the control than do something that I don't like and have like millions of people see it.
Yeah.
It's like I feel it's like it all depends on your what you value more. I really like doing my own thing. I really like not having a boss. I really like just going, I like the Arkham cowl. I'm going to make that. And I make it. And usually and the audience will tell you, you know what I mean? Like if people like Arkham, chances are they'll either see it and tell you that they like it or don't like it. Dude, I can't tell you how many people were like, it's good, but you should change the all the time. All the time. I'll get
Not
private
me.
messages or like novels.
Oh my god.
Hey, fuck them.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's like if your opinion is I don't like the thing, that's fine. But there is a time and a place to do that, I think. Because I feel like people who can't do the thing usually have the most critical opinions of the thing. Look at movies. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know the first fucking thing about putting a Justice League movie together. I would be losing sleep with the stress.
Yeah.
And, Zack Snyder comes along and goes, hey, I got an idea. And everyone was just kind of like, boo, fuck your idea. It sucks.
Until they watch it. And that's one of the things I always say, like, hey, let's just wait and watch the final product.
And that's what I say about the Batman. Like, there's people who are like pro Affleck and they're like anti Pattinson. And I'm like,
yeah, like they're cheating on him.
You haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen and I can look, it's like I feel like there's been enough Batman movies and stuff. You can tell when something's gonna be kind of a steaming pile of shit. You know what I mean? Like Gotham, when I heard the concept of what they were doing, I'm like, all right, I'll taste it first before I see it. And then I watched it and I'm like, yep, nope, I was right. Trust my instincts.
Yeah.
But it could be somebody else's, like Mona Lisa. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my God, Gotham's like the best show ever. It isn't, but it's like,
So true. And like you said, like, at the end of the day, trailers only give us so much. These newsletters give us only so much, but you have to wait to see the final product and then make judgment. Yeah. Which is awesome.
And I can't wait for Snyder Cut. I cannot wait. I am an unashamed BVS supporter. Like when people were taking a big Dairy Queen shit on it fucking like years ago, I'm just kind of like, you're out of your mind. This is the Batman I've been waiting my entire life to see. Yeah.
It's the poster I have over here.
What's this? It's a whole
that poster.
Yeah.
That movie's fucking awesome.
Oh,
love it.
You like this, Sean? This is from the day that we went to. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I got the posters that I brought to.
Oh, nice.
They're all signed.
That's fucking.
Those are the signed ones from.
I didn't have anything to get signed. I got the poster there, the one that they had at the event, and I got that one signed. But
I'm upset I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Because didn't they tell us that you can only sign one item? I want to say that I remember them saying that.
I think it was. It was like I think that because I remember going, man, I wish I would have brought a cowl.
Right.
That'd have been so dope.
Because I didn't see anybody bring one, and I was just kind of like, "Whoa!" I rolled in there with mine. And we were like, "Get that!" Just like contact
the gift shop.
I'm like the king of unpopular opinion, but I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the whole Martha thing. I don't know. It just,
dude. The thing, I love because you're one of the people that understands that scene from a psychological standpoint, where all these the Martha scene is so stupid. Yeah. No. You're so stupid because you are uninformed and you don't understand what post-traumatic stress syndrome is and how this is literally a definitive example of a trigger of trauma. Mm-hmm. Like he is literally flashing back to a traumatic event because of the trigger. And it's like, dude, it's literally, if you go look at the textbook of the definition of that diagnosis, he's showing you in a fucking scene what it does. Well, and then when I watched it, I was like, that's fucking genius.
If you think Batman as a character, his whole character is a trauma metaphor.
Right.
If you break it down like this, little boy watches his parents die. He can buy anything he wants in the world. He's super fucking rich, but he can't
help people.
Get his parents. The one thing he wants, he can have. So what does he do? He goes and obsessively tries to reenact that night, every night, in a costume, and tries to stop that from happening to other people.
To anyone else. That's the biggest thing he could do, to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else.
Now, this is my purpose.
That's his thing. That's it.
Money, I have all of this. I could do whatever I want. I could just drink my life away. Doesn't do it.
No.
He goes out and he relives that night every night. every single night, and he does it in something that he wishes probably would have been there the night his parents died.
Yeah. So his whole thing is pretty much, I don't want anyone else to experience what I experienced in any form, whether it's losing a kid, a dad, a brother, a mom, a sister, anyone.
Yeah. Because then he has control over the destiny of, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, like he can alter somebody else's childhood from being ruined by stepping in and you know, deboning a fucking bad guy like a chicken. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think it was Brian Azzarello that said he never left the alleyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Like 3 people died that night.
Yeah.
His parents and his innocence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yep.
That being said, we might have to do we might have to jump back on here. I know as the Bat Force, we're going to do a review of the movie, but we might have to jump on Everything Batman and do a review and invite you right back, Sean.
Let's do it.
Man, that'd be awesome.
I also think that there's an entire other side of you that we haven't even touched on that would be good for the Grumps and Gramps show, and that is your collection of toys that you have stashed away. And like, yeah, I mean, that could be left for that show because it's literally just an entire show worth of stuff that you got. So,
yeah, that's probably gonna take like weeks of preparation.
Pile it up back here.
Yeah,
yeah.
But all right, so we're gonna start closing up. Sean, I want to thank you for jumping on. I know it's been a really long time trying to get you on here. Man, this is fucking awesome. All this shit you got is fucking so dope. I said it, guys.
A lot more stuff. I got a lot of stuff.
I gotta say, hold on, man. It's so dope. There we go. Look at Tom. Tom is the happiest. Tom's like, I couldn't wait to get Sean on and talk about all Batman 89.
Yeah.
That being said, all right. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you, guys.
Grumps, thanks for coming on. I want you to give us a quick soundbite give us a little soundbite about Grumps and Gramps.
I got nothing, man. I'm thrilled to be here with Sean. Like, I'm a huge fan. So thank you guys for allowing me to come on here. I appreciate it.
Anytime, of course. Sean, any last words for anyone that does what you do, anyone who's a hardcore 89 collector? Just anything you want to tell anyone who's going to listen to this or watch this show?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm on the spot now. Like the
like it's all right, man. Just whatever your heart's saying.
Anybody that's into making any kind of art Batman related, whether it be comics, sculpting, whatever, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Like I did. That's like, I was either drawing them in doodling when I was at work, supposed to be working, or whether I'm sculpting him. I just like my obsession with Batman is only rivaled by my obsession to create art. So it's sort of like the perfect like marriage. You know what I mean? It's like they just go together. It just makes sense. Like, it's like, so if Batman is your muse, I say just stick with it and keep going and just because we need new takes on Batman. We like there's every sort of like 10 years or so, like there's like that new fresh take that happens. Like I feel like we're still like living in the Jim Lee Batman sort of shadow, which is with the Frank Miller Batman, just in Jim Lee style. But that's neither here nor there. You asked for a soundbite, right? Yeah, this big a long.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's great advice for anyone that wants to pursue and similar to what you're doing. Just don't give up. Don't.
Everything's online. You don't.
Yeah, look it up. Look at credits. Write some names down. Follow people.
Movie credits. Well, now Facebook, you can find them all. Everybody's got a social media.
Yeah, it's out there.
Just and everything, and you do not need school. I wouldn't say don't go if you really want to go, but it's like if you want to work commercially, school helps. But if you want to just kind of like do your own thing, you don't need school. You just need drive.
Yeah, that's the biggest force to get anything done. That being said, social media. Just tell our followers where they can follow you, where to find you.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Vero, ReevzFX, ReevzFX.
Nice. Well, Sean, once again, thank you so much for coming on. We're definitely gonna do this review a couple of weeks from now.
Let's do it.
Looking forward to it. Besides that, ladies and gents, that concludes episode 3 of Everything Batman. Follow us on SoundCloud. Still waiting on iTunes and Spotify. Go on YouTube on the Bat Force. Subscribe, like, comment. Episode 3. We're out of here.